Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Milena's Diary. I am your host, your mamacita, Milena Sanchez. I don't have Milena on the podcast today. She stayed home for this one. But I do have a friend of mine. Thought I'd bring her on because I think it's such an important conversation that we're about to have. So guys, I have my amazing friend Jess here. Woo! Just let the people know what it is that you do.
So I am a nervous system integration coach. So that's working with stress, trauma, processing experiences that sometimes are not great, but also joyful as well. People might not be happy for you and that can affect you. So it's just seeing what the body's holding and how we can process it and move forwards.
So Jess is super amazing. Like, I'm going to leave all of her socials there so you can follow her and stuff because her pages are honestly so interesting and so informative. Like, sometimes I'll come across things and I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Like, what the hell? Like, obviously, I know that trauma is stored in your body, but a lot of people don't know that and they just walk around life and
they think that's them now. When you go through experiences, and it does change your personality because trauma, who knows how to process even emotions?
Yeah.
We're not actually shown, which I think is crazy if you deep that, no one's ever shown us or told us how to process emotions.
They actually haven't.
No.
But they've taught us how to do fucking fractions.
Yeah.
Nah. The school system needs to get...
Yeah, that's the one thing I always say is that if we knew from a young age what emotions actually are, which people don't even know what emotions are, which it is like an energy. Our body has electrical pulses there called bioimpulses within the body. So when you have a spike of an emotion, sadness, joyful, there's like cortisol that's been released, whether it's like a stress response, even though obviously it could be joy and also stress. Yeah. It needs a cycle, but so many of us don't actually process that. We get angry and then we suppress it, or we just try and carry on, but we still have that feeling. We're not actually shown how to somatically in your body experience it.
Yeah, and there is also so many people that are like, oh yeah, I'm angry or I'm feeling all of these feelings and I'm okay because I'm not like lashing out, but they're suppressing.
Yeah.
And they don't actually understand that that is also just as damaging as, you know, having an outburst or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that a lot of us, we know our story and we know our experiences and we can speak it. It's like it stays in a loop in the mind, but in the body, it's like we're not feeling it, we can speak it though. Yeah. But the feeling part of it is that if we don't actually feel, it's not to say that you have to go back and relive anything. Yeah. But it's just knowing that your body also has the feeling part of it. Something that actually recently I've been focusing on, you know, obviously we're going to speak about PMDD and ADHD. When you look at the body, this is like, without getting too technical, getting to the point, there's something in your whole body called the brain and the body called the HPA axis. So basically that is your internal wiring of your body from the mind to the body. Now I need to remember everything here. So it's the hypothalamus in the brain that goes to the pituitary, and this is quite boring, but it just goes to show
this is so intriguing.
The mind body, okay? So this is what controls everything. Yeah. So your emotions, fight or flight, that HPA axis. So you've got the hypothalamus, you've got the pituitary gland that's like, this detects. The pituitary gland is like the messenger, and then the messenger's to the body, which is the adrenals, which this is what indicates the cortisol, the fight or flight, the rage, that controls. So it's the body that sends the messages back to the mind. So when we're like, we focus on the mind, talking therapy and trying to talk it out or process it here, and we don't go here, this is why people stay stuck, because we're just here. But it really is the body that controls how you react, like the fight or flight. It comes from the adrenal.
So what can people do? Like, can people like start healing their nervous system? Or where do people start? Because I can imagine people feeling all of these things and relating to what it is that we're talking about, but also feeling stuck in the sense of like, where do I start? Because I know there are things that I need to work through. I know that my body's also reacting to something, but where the fuck do we go? Where do we go from here?
Exactly. I think great question though, because I mean, I can come with all of this talk, but then you need something, whether that's seeing me, seeing a colleague, but also doing stuff at home. So I think looking at it like this, you know, when you go to the gym, or you might have Pilates and yoga that you intertwine into your daily life or whatever. you need to look at your nervous system as something that needs the exact same input. Okay? So nervous system health is the most important health. Your nervous system controls how you feel in the world and how you see the world and how you react or respond.
Oh my days, yes. Because there was this girl on TikTok a few weeks ago that I came across, and she said, we are never experiencing reality, we're always experiencing our nervous system. And I was like, oh, that switched something in my brain. I don't know, it opened up like a new neurological pathway, because I was like, oh my God, it's true. We can have the same exact day, but because of our traumas and our past, we respond to it differently.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to be in fight or flight all the time. It's not good for us. Like when your body is like constantly releasing cortisol.
It alters everything. And I think like I got into this work because I had complex PTSD. And I think the hardest part is that why do the doctors not tell you how important your nervous system is? It's everything. Even your mind. So you have like 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Obviously, we're not conscious of every thought we're having. God, we'll be tired.
Yeah, I'm tired already, mate.
But your nervous system controls those thoughts. So your nervous system state, so you've probably heard of like fight or flight, rest and digest. They're not bad. But what it is when your nervous system becomes chronically stuck in one of those states. And then it alters your personality. So I used to be so angry. I used to be bossy because I couldn't control what was happening here. So I'd control what's happening out here. So I'd be so angry, so bossy. Because we're not actually feeling like we're in control of our body, because when our body's working for us, because that's what it is doing, trying to keep us safe, we feel like we get these metaphysical, so emotional, anxiety, depression symptoms. And then we have the physical, which was chronic pain in my case. But your nervous system needs to be approached of the way of understanding that there's more to your body than what you know. I don't want to get too boring, but in the brain, we have these hemispheres. We have the left side of the brain and we have the right side. So each side, the left is what us human beings are perfectly at, which is everything has to make sense. Because we're humans, it has to make sense. The same way if you see what I do, people will look at thinking, what on earth does she do? No.
Yeah, well,
that is a bit crazy because it doesn't make sense. But that right hemisphere of the brain, it has this deeper connection to this coherence healing, this unfolding that we know there's more. Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Like, there's more. Let's not go there because obviously it gets too much.
Where do we come from? Where do we go? Cotton Eye Joe. These are the questions that I ask myself all the time.
Yeah. So that's it though. There's more to what we know. And science is constantly unfolding. And with energy work, you can't measure it. And this is the reason why it can be so overlooked.
Oh my God.
But energy, we all know what it's like to feel emotions. We share the same thing, the universal emotions of sadness, happiness, etc. And I think that's massively in this human experience overlooked.
100%.
But yeah, our nervous system, we need to focus on it more, the exact same as we go to the gym and we eat well. Nervous system, if we can bring it in, finally getting back to your question, sorry I do this, if we could just start off with a little bit of breath work, starting off with grounding, being open to knowing that this also has like a mind, not just here. Breath will always guide you to a space of like a steady rhythm, and then trying to find someone who can help coach you through it. But with wellness nowadays, it's so hard.
But when you was talking about energy, I feel like people underestimate that so much. Everything has energy.
Absolutely.
And I have been a little bit obsessed with quantum physics. And when I used to hear the word quantum physics, I used to think, oh my God, Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory. Like, do you know what I mean? Like all of these equations I'm not going to understand and whatever. But when I heard that it was basically like logical spirituality and like, it's energy, it's all of these things, it's different realms, different fields. I was like, mind blown, because I'm a huge believer. I don't know where we go after we're done here. But I believe, and I know wholeheartedly because it's a proven fact, that energy just doesn't disappear.
Yeah. This is why a lot of people, when they have their loved ones that's passed, they can still feel them.
Yeah.
Just because the physical form isn't here anymore, you can still feel the energy. But I think as well, energy, there's two ways that I cater for like people that like the science more, but then I also love the woo-woo more. Like I love both. Okay?
You actually do, to be honest.
I love it because I think it's really important to integrate it. Because some people can think woo-woo is a bit scary. But basically, something that I read recently in my training, I'm training to do human garage, and that's working with human garage, which
what the fuck is that? Human garage? What? That sounds like some, I don't know, some Jeffrey Dahmer.
It does sound, doesn't it? It does actually. So basically it's working with your fascia. So fascia is basically your whole body is like connected with this web. It's literally like a spider's web, okay? And people think that it's our bones that keep us upright. No, because there's only a couple of bones that actually touch. This fascia carries so much intelligence. It has more nerve endings than the brain. And honestly, like there was one part of the studying where the founder said, our body is obviously made up of cells, okay?
Yeah.
Within each cell, there's about 1.4 kilowattage of electricity, of energy. So obviously with all the cells together, like trillions of cells, we're equivalent to 3 suns.
Oh my
That's how much
gosh.
energy a human being has within their body. But then we don't know that.
No.
And then also an energy flow, like look at like blood flow, oxygen flow. Your body works with systems, right? And that system is through a flow of energy. So even with the blood flow, oxygen flow, it's this flow of energy within the body. And when there's restriction within the body, whether that's through muscle, fascia, and so on, nervous system states, that's where it throws the whole body off. So I think when you look at your body, external and internal, I think this is why if people can be a little bit more open-minded to their nervous system and maybe just having a little look, not too much research, the body honestly carries such an intelligence. Like what I do, I'm not a magician. I can't make people move, but I'm connecting into different points of resonance within the body and it responds to it.
When I first started looking at the videos that, you know, of Jess's work, there was a part of me that was a bit like, okay, how true is this that people are popping and locking and shaking and twerking on a bed? I just, it didn't make sense to me.
Absolutely.
I was definitely in the left side of my brain because I couldn't grasp the concept that you wasn't even touching them, you know, hands hovering and they would move in certain ways that I was just like, okay, like, is this for show? I don't know. Then I did have a session with Jess, and I think it was so amazing that before the session, like, you was very open and you were honest about everything. You explained everything, which I thought was really good, because sometimes when you're going into these things, you don't really understand it, but you know that it's something that I really want to do and experience just to see what comes up for me. And you was just like, listen, people move, some people don't. And that is okay. Everybody is like, you know, that is very subjective to them and to the person. It's very individual. Absolutely. And just because you may not pop and lock, it doesn't mean that something hasn't exactly, or that you're not releasing. And by the end of the session, I was really happy that you had said that to me, because had I have not known that, I would have felt like I had failed in that session because I didn't pop and lock. But it was such a huge release for me. And I remember like, I felt like you was touching me in places, but you was like, I didn't even touch you there. And it felt like I cried my heart out. Like, I really bawled. And I felt like that's what I needed. I just needed a space where I felt held. Talk to me about when people, they kind of like underestimate what it is that you do, or kind of just say, oh yeah, this is some woo-woo shit for real.
So I have a lot of that. And it's so funny because that the nervous system already works before the mind catches on. Because I have clients that come, they choose to book in, I never push, like ever. They come, they find, and they are still really funny about it, but they felt like, I need to be here though, I need to experience it, even though I'm just a bit like, and even that's their nervous system. Like, I think this work finds you when you're ready. But also the popping and locking, that kind of stuff doesn't mean that, if like I move and you didn't, or vice versa, it doesn't mean that I had a bigger experience than you. Because I have some clients that do a lot of that and actually they don't have a bigger shift at all. But I would say, basically, if you're open to understanding this, you and I can go through the exact same experience. And but it was the exact same experience, and I've got PTSD and you're fine. Let's start there. That's our uniqueness. No nervous system is the same. Your jug is yours, mine is mine. So then if you step into it knowing, okay, so I want to help my jug, being open to the somatic experiencing, which is, there's so many studies on that. There's a lot of people that not working with the energy side of things, working with the physical body, which is your somatic experience. Looking at it like, okay, where I mentioned about the HPA axis, the body also communicates with the brain. So the body will restrict in different areas and go tight, and that's called armoring. to keep you safe. So even just touch is a human need. And if someone's not in an intimate relationship, they're starved from a human need, because some people's mums aren't maternal, vice versa, fathers or whatever. So they're actually being starved. So even just holding a client's hand can be enough for them to cry and release.
Bro.
Like
100.
massive. It's massive. Like even just putting their hand. Sometimes I play with their hair, and obviously I think, oh God, I don't want them to think that I'm being too touchy, but I can feel it. They are starved of that loving care. Okay. So I think the most important thing is just don't step into it thinking that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be working with energy. Because a lot of people think, when they say to me, how do you protect yourself from energy? Because they think I'm working with people's energy and it's scary. That's something else that we're quite conditioned into thinking, is that you and I are separate, so I must protect myself from your shit. That's so wrong, because if I protect myself, I automatically then view myself as different to you. And we're not different at all. We've just got different stories. We're the same. We need the same. We've just got different experiences.
100%.
Right? So clients, I think that the way I approach it really helps, because some people are more woo-woo. That freaked me out. When I first saw it as a client, I went because I have fibromyalgia, and I looked at it and I was like, there's no way I'm happy. I remember having that experience, like looking at it and thinking, I would not do that. That looks so scary. But it's because I didn't know what was going on.
And people think it's demonic as well. And with religious people, they're like, I'm not. I'm just going to let God do his thing.
But even that, I think that the reason why they think it's like some horror stuff is because from what we've seen, so the only way that our left side of the brain can relate to it is from seeing things like the exorcism, or when the body's moving in a really strange way. That's also what's called neuroreceptive awareness. You're keeping yourself safe. That is your body working for you and thinking, that looks strange. But when you learn what it is, and learn that the body, nowadays, what's so wrong is we don't ever experience things fully. Say we had a traumatic experience, like, sorry to be negative, like a car crash. You have the car crash, then that middle, so look at that as A. B would be feeling, like giving yourself a moment to actually like feel it. We don't do that. We go straight to C, anxiety, PTSD, scared to get in a car again. We don't have the actual experience of how it made us feel. And bringing it all the way back to like animals. This is funny, but everyone relates to this. Look at an animal. If you have a dog, fireworks night, they hate fireworks. Some dogs, they don't have a cognitive mind like us humans, so they can't get there. So they go straight to their nervous system. They feel it. They shake and tremor. It might take an hour. It might take 10 minutes. Then it's gone. They can just carry on. But humans don't have that. We have the mind. That the mind is a funny place, and it will distract us, and we'll land here. We won't come back to here.
And then when your body gets left,
then it will start to manifest to physical and emotional disease. And most conditions, there's a great book by Yvette Rose called Metaphysical Anatomy. There's not one thing in there. So if you had a condition, read up the reflective questions, it will read you. It's insane. So many of my clients, myself, my wife, have read it, and it's like, how is that so me? Because we are all one.
So about like 2021, 2022, and it's so funny because now looking back at pictures, I could really see that the cortisol had my face like a big frigging balloon. Anyways, I actually had scalp psoriasis. I didn't know where the hell that came from. I did not understand. I went to a dermatologist and she just wanted to put me on steroids, and that's just topical. That's just for your skin, and you will end up like having an even bigger flare up because your body starts resisting to it. What I realized in the research that I was doing was that comes within autoimmune diseases. They come from your gut, your nervous system, everything that you're suppressing and holding in, and everything that I was going through at that precise moment. And it's so mad because the moment I truly started working on myself and also lifestyle change and a lot of things that I was consuming, obviously I've not cured myself, but I don't have the flare up that I had before. And it's so crazy that you say you try up here, because I was in therapy, but then you forget about your body, and then it manifests in your body. Then you get angry with your body because you're like, my body's not doing what it needs to do. When really and truly your body is talking to you. It's saying, hey, I'm experiencing this because of this and that, and I need you to really listen to me right now. And people they walk around with these autoimmune diseases and diseases thinking like, oh, this is just part of my story. This is just normal. And it's like, I'm not saying that healing your nervous system and having a complete lifestyle change means that you won't ever get anything. Yeah, it won't. Yeah. But a lot of it stems from there and people don't know about it enough. I wanted to say that when we first met, it was so crazy how we met. I was doing a panel talk and Jess was there. And I instantly felt like this connection with you. Like it was, I don't know, it was strange because you didn't really talk that much.
No,
you were, it was quite shy. But I was like, yeah, this girl, there's something about her. And then when we met, I was like, we're definitely gonna be friends.
It feels like I've known you for so long though. This is but then what souls align, I think that energy knows. That's what I'm saying.
And you're gay? Girl! And our partners are basically each other. And we're basically the same. I was like, we was talking a lot about like ADHD, PMDD, and I feel like a lot of women don't know enough about PMDD or the links between ADHD and PMDD.
Yeah.
So women that have ADHD are 3 times more likely to have PMDD. PMDD, premenstrual, dysphoric disorder.
Yeah, you got it.
Which is basically like PMS but on 10.
Yeah.
So severe. And it's something that I really didn't realize that I was experiencing until I would say about 2019. I was like, I'm a crazy ass bitch. And that's how I refer to myself as. I'm just crazy, is what it is, keep it moving. When I got with Milena and I started noticing the cycles and the patterns, I was like, oh my God. I definitely have this. And even when it comes to being diagnosed by doctors, it's so new. That doctors don't even like diagnosing.
No, or they're misdiagnosed. like bipolar or PMDD.
Exactly. And it's so sad because the symptoms of PMDD can be so severe and so intense and can affect your daily life that it's so sad that there are tons of women just walking around.
Yeah, and I think one thing, bringing it back to the nervous system, I have PMDD, and you know what we said about, again, I keep saying about the HPA axis, ours is weaker, and there's a very strong link with trauma, childhood trauma, with PMDD and obviously ADHD. But with PMDD, I think this is where it's really important to be able to build the connection with your body, because the mind goes so dark with when you have your fluctuations and you can have that period of PMDD. It can be so frightening because it's emotional instability as well, which is massive, okay? I have it, you experience it. And I think that is that deeper knowing that, okay, we have a sensitivity. Our internal wiring is more sensitive than, for example, our wives, right?
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing, okay? But I think starting there is really important because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves when we actually are wired differently.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's
and
the
I
most
feel like
important thing.
We don't give ourselves enough grace for realizing what we go through and the fact that our brains are different, like chemically different. Yeah. The hormone imbalances affect us so much more.
And our reactions to it.
Yeah, exactly. Because every single month for me, it will be 3-4 days beforehand. And if I react to Milena in a certain way or I react differently, she will be quick to be like, where are you in your cycle? Yeah. And I think that's so beautiful and so important to know, like, know where your partner's at in your cycle, but also you be aware of where you're at. And I know everything down. So I know by the 14th, I am now starting to go on a dip. Yeah. And when I'm telling you, life feels so heavy. And I'm not that type of person. No, like, I'm like a happy person, bubbly, I like being out, whatever. Yeah. But those days, and it's so crazy because I feel myself sometimes crying. So I know I can look back and say, okay, I'm just experiencing this, okay? And I'm just experiencing this again and I am okay. Like, I will be okay in a few days' time. But the way that I feel about myself, I honestly hate myself. Yeah. I feel like a failure. I feel so down in the dumps. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anyone. I just want to stay at home. Everything's magnified, heightened, rejection sensitivity. I feel so like... And it's so mad being able to recognize these things now because I can look back and pinpoint certain bits of my life that I'm like, this is what I was experiencing.
Yeah.
But people thought that I was being oversensitive, too emotional. I was being too much, that I liked drama, that I was, you know, this anxious attached person, or that I was lazy. That was a big one as well, because I feel like with PMDD,
I get so
ADHD, like our brains obviously wired different, right?
Yeah.
So if something doesn't give us that spark, that dopamine, we don't want to do it, which is why daily tasks feel like such a huge
even getting
thing.
back to my emails. I know I have a business, but this is crazy. It took me, I think the other day I got back to people, like not even like business, work, friends. I think they messaged me on the 16th of October and I replied back 2 nights ago in the bath.
Not 2 nights ago in the bath.
Yeah, I was. I was like, I had a bit of dopamine, clearly. Okay. And I thought, but then the guilt. It's like, why am I not normal?
Why am I not normal?
I think that could be our next one. Why am I not normal? Because what is normal?
Ooh, Jess, we got to unpack a lot. Yeah. Why are we not normal? Well, guys, let's leave it there. You are you, which is the most important thing. But we will definitely get into another episode where we'll dissect into things a bit more. But like I said, I think it was really, really important for us to talk about, you know, your work and just for people to notice as well, like, it can feel really daunting and scary when people talk about the nervous system and healing and trauma and PMDD and all of that. Yeah. When really and truly, you don't have to be scared of learning more about yourself and your body.
Absolutely. And we can strip it all the way back to basics, the human needs. A couple of things. Doesn't have to have all the fancy words. Yeah. The body knows.
The body knows. The body keeps the score.
Yes.
The body keeps the score.
We got Bessel.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you've got to this point, Jess, where can the people find you?
So based in Chiswick, and if you would you tag my Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm called For Myself Healing, and I look forward to hopefully connecting with you.
I really hope, like, even one person who listens to this will just be open.
Feel drawn.
Feel drawn and feel open to just say, I'm ready. And if you're looking for a sign, this is your sign. Yes. Let's start healing together. I might start a little healing hub.
Yeah.
I might start a little healing hub because I feel like that's another passion project of mine coming.
You'd be great.
But thank you so much for coming on.
No,
really,
thank
really
you so much.
Appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten to this point, it's really, it means so much to me. All the love and the support. Thank you so much. I have been your host, your mamacita, Milena Sanchez, and this has been the amazing Jess. Until next time, amigas. Thank you so much for coming, Jess. I've really, really, just been really happy that I was able to share this space with you and get more information and let other people really understand what it is that you do and
the power of their body.
The power of their body.
Yes.
Guys, I have been your host, your mamacita, Milena Sanchez. Bye.